very, very, very good afternoon. Now, of course, the whole world for the last few weeks has been talking about Meghan Markle and the royal family and Harry, Prince Harry. And today, from wherever you are in the world, do tune in because I am going to reveal exactly what is going on in relation to Meghan Markle and Harry and the royal family. We do have a very, very important insight into this. And funnily enough, there is a book which you should all buy. It is probably one of the most valuable books that you could ever find. Now, here we go. I'm just going to look for this. There is a particular chapter in this book, and it is so, so important. You see, what we're looking at in relation to Meghan Markle and Harry. This is the ethics book. It's written by L. Ron Hubbard. You can find it on Amazon. And, you know, I'd be most interested, where are you watching from the world, and who do you feel, which side are you a supporter of? Are you a supporter of Meghan Markle and Harry, or are you a supporter of the royal family, or are you a supporter of both? What do you think about this? I'm very, very interested because there is something, and this is so, so important, and it is called the third party law, and you will find it on page 285 of the ethics book. And some of you may be experiencing disagreements in your life. Some people may not be getting on with people, and you may in your own family have people who you have a hard time with or difficulties with. And so important, this particular piece of information can give you the key. And I've just lost the page of it there now. I'm just going to get the page for myself again. It's 285. Of course, I'm a little bit too early. There we go. 285 in the ethics book. Now, this book was written by L. Ron Hubbard, who is a remarkable gentleman, who is the founder of, as many of you know, Scientology. I've been a Scientologist for many, many years. And this particular law, this particular piece of information is so vital. It's called the third party law. And with your permission, I'm actually going to read it to you. And it says, I have for a very long time studied the causes of violence and conflict amongst individuals and nations. If Chaldea could vanish, if Babylon could turn to dust, if Egypt could become a badlands, if Sicily could have 160 prosperous cities and be a looted ruin before the year zero, and a near desert ever since, and this in spite of all the work and wisdom and good wishes and intent of human beings, then it must follow, as the dark follows sunset, that something must be unknown to man concerning all his works and ways, and that this something must be so deadly and so pervasive as to destroy all his ambitions and his chances long before their time. Such a thing would have to be some natural law unguessed at by himself. And there is such a law, apparently, that answers these conditions of being deadly, unknown, and embracing all activities. The law would seem to be: a third party must be present and unknown in every quarrel for a conflict to exist. Or, for a quarrel to occur, an unknown third party must be active in producing it between two potential opponents. Or, while it is commonly believed to take two to make a fight, a third party must exist and must develop it for actual conflict to occur. It is very easy to see that two in conflict are fighting. They are very visible. What is harder to see or suspect is that a third party existed and actively promoted the quarrel. The usually unsuspected and reasonable third party, the bystander who denies any part of it, is the one that brought the conflict into existence in the first place. The hidden third party, seeming at times to be a supporter of only one side, is found to be the instigator. This is a useful law on many dynamics. This works in family, this works in businesses. It is the cause of war. One sees two fellows shouting bad names at each other, sees them come to blows. No one else is around, so of course they, caused the fight. But there was a third party. Tracing these down, one comes upon incredible data. That is the trouble. The incredible is too easily rejected. One way to hide things is to make them incredible. Clark A and Messenger B have been arguing. They blaze into direct conflict. Each blames the other. Neither one is correct, and so the quarrel does not resolve since its true cause is not established. One looks into a case thoroughly. He finds the incredible. The wife of Clark A has been sleeping with Messenger B and complaining alike to both about the other. Farmer J and Rancher K have been tearing each other to pieces for years in continual conflict. There are obvious logical reasons for the fight, yet it continues and does not resolve. A close search finds banker L, who, due to their losses in the fighting, is able to loan each side money while keeping the quarrel going, and who will get their lands completely if both lose. It goes larger. The revolutionary forces and the Russian government were in conflict in 1917. The reasons are so many that the attention easily sticks on them. But only when Germany's official state papers were captured in World War II was it revealed that Germany had promoted the revolt and financed Lenin to spark it off, even sending him into Russia in a blacked-out train. One looks over personal quarrels, group conflicts, national battles, and one finds, if he searches, the third party, unsuspected by both combatants, or, if suspected at all, brushed off as fantastic. Yet careful documentation finally affirms it. This datum is fabulously useful. In marital quarrels, the correct approach of anyone counselling is to get both parties to carefully search out the third party. They may come to many reasons at first. These reasons are not beings. One is looking for a third party. You see, you're looking for a third party. And these third parties are so important to understand. Now, you can read the rest of this chapter. In fact, there is an incredible film. This book is called the Scientology Ethics Book. It is a very powerful book, and really excellent, really excellent. And I cannot even begin to tell you how this works in relation to the Meghan Markle and Harry saga and drama that is going on at the moment. Now, I can't see any comments and reactions at the moment. I think for some reason the comment section is off, but I will try to put it back on again. If you could just put a little note saying where you are and where it is you're from, then I will see that the comment section is actually working. But at the moment, I can't seem to see the commentary section. Cosmic Punk. There we go. Hi, John. Once we can travel, I'm booking Camelot Castle. Well, you'd be very welcome to. And of course, we will be open for business. And I know a lot of you are in the art business now. We're in the art business here. So if you want to come and discuss the art business, you're very welcome to come to Camelot Castle. We can talk about the art business all day. And you can even engage in some art business here. Because, of course, this is the home of Ted Sturton, the world's greatest living artist. And the art business is a booming business in Cornwall at the moment, and no better reason to come to Cornwall to engage in the art business, providing, of course, that is within the government guidelines, which I do believe that it is. Now, here is the key to the Meghan, Harry, British government, royal family, American English disaster. And you can stick this one in the bank. There is one or more hidden third parties. And the big problem is that neither Meghan or Harry or the royal family understand the third party law. So if any of you out there are part of that royal family, and I know a lot of people that watch this broadcast are actually part of the royal family, and we've got a lot of friends within, as I say, the British aristocracy and the American aristocracy, and all various different people in Hollywood and so on and so forth. If there are any of you out there that have any type of a connection or care about these young people's lives, do try to get to them a copy of the third party law. Now, it's very easy these days, and I'll tell you why. Because the Church of Scientology recently opened a massive film studio in Hollywood, and they have been making films about things like the third party law. And there is now an incredible video, which I'm actually going to show you the trailer for here, and it's pretty amazing. And here it is. This is about the third party law. So this is the trailer for the movie.
A Scientology Network exclusive. From his timeless discoveries on the mind, spirit, and life comes L. Ron Hubbard's compelling and insightful essay on the nature of conflicts. From war between nations to discord among family members, there is always a hidden cause. Don't miss the third party law on L. Ron Hubbard Library Presents.
Well, there you go. That is the trailer. And you can actually go to Scientology.tv, and you can watch that thing about the third party law. And I can absolutely assure you that the third party law is something that all of us can apply literally every day, because there is a tiny percentage of the population, it's a small percentage, but if you have any disagreements in your life going on. Hello from Maui, Earl Dammers, look at that. Hello, how are you? Lovely to have you here. We've got Marie from New Zealand. What we're talking about today is what is the actual cause, the actual reason that the dispute occurred between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and the royal family, and the institution, if you like, of the monarchy. What is the actual reason? And what we are going to expose today and share with the world is that there is something called a hidden third party. These people are hidden promoters. So you have it sometimes, you know, the old comedy people that used to do stand-up comedy, they were always joking about the mother-in-law. Well, that was really joking about a third party. Somebody, you have two people who are basically getting on, and they start off like, you could say, William and Harry always got on as brothers, and then all of a sudden there's a third party. There's a third party, and it's not always the obvious person. The obvious person is not necessarily the third party. A third party activity can occur incredibly subtly, incredibly skillfully. You could have somebody who is perhaps even in a lower position in a household, can be acting as a third party. You could have a cleaning lady, let's say, or somebody, or a secretary or something like that, that just sort of rolls their eyes whenever somebody comes into the room. And that action, or just a general frostiness towards somebody, that action can act as a third party. Now, I'm going to show you this because it is so important. I actually now have here for you the entire film about the third party law. And because it's so important, and you know, this disagreement between Harry and Meghan and the royal family could easily be resolved in about 15 minutes if the accurate third party was spotted and found. It just is not that difficult. And I'll tell you a very personal story about this. When my wife and I first met, my wife and her mother had a long-standing disagreement about something that I'm not going to get into now, but it was very private. And the first night we went out to dinner, my then-to-be wife, or then girlfriend at the time, Irina, she told me about the disagreement that she had with her mother. And because I knew the third-party law, I was immediately able to say, well, let's just take a look here. Is there a hidden third party? Is there someone in your ear telling you that your mother is making a mistake or that your mother is not doing the right thing? Is there someone in your ear that is acting as a third party? Because L. Ron Hubbard is very, very, very specific. And he is specific, and it's covered here in this book here, page 285 of the ethics book, Scientology ethics book, which is super, super book. You can see I read it so much that half the pages are falling out, to be honest with you. I need to get a new one. Now, what it says here, the law would seem to be a third party must be present and unknown. That's the key, unknown. See, if you think you know who it is, that's probably not the third party. You see? Could be the third party, but it's probably not. A third party must be present and unknown in every quarrel for a conflict to exist. Or, for a quarrel to occur, an unknown third party must be active in producing it between two potential opponents. Or, while it is commonly believed to take two to make a fight, a third party must exist and must develop it for actual conflict to occur. So what do we know in relation now to Meghan and Harry and the royal family? Is there an argument going on? Is there visibly a conflict? Can we see a conflict in front of our eyes? If we can see a conflict, what we know is that there must be a third party present and unknown in every quarrel for a conflict to exist. So this is a great, great, powerful simplicity. And I'm going to share with you now the film on the third party. Here we go.
I have for a very long time studied the causes of violence and conflict amongst individuals and nations. If Chaldea could vanish, if Babylon could turn to dust, if Egypt could become a badlands, if Sicily could have 160 prosperous cities and be a looted ruin before the year 0, and a near desert ever since. And all this in spite of all the work and wisdom and good wishes and intent of human beings, then it must follow, as the dark follows sunset, that something must be unknown to man concerning all his works and ways, and that this something must be so deadly and so pervasive as to destroy all his ambitions and his chances long before their time. Such a thing would have to be some natural law unguessed at by himself. And there is such a law, apparently, that answers these conditions of being deadly, unknown, and embracing all activities. The law would seem to be, a third party must be present and unknown in every quarrel for a conflict to exist. Or, for a quarrel to occur, an unknown third party must be active in producing it between two potential opponents. Or, while it is commonly believed to take two to make a fight, a third party must exist and must develop it for actual conflict to occur. It is very easy to see that two in conflict are fighting. They are very visible. What is harder to see or suspect is that a third party existed and actively promoted the quarrel. The usually unsuspected and reasonable third party, the bystander who denies any part of it, is the one that brought the conflict into existence in the first place. The hidden third party, seeming at times to be a supporter of only one side, is to be found as the instigator. This is a useful law in many aspects of life. It is the cause of war. One sees two fellows shouting bad names at each other, sees them come to blows. No one else is around, so they, of course, caused the fight. But there was a third party. Tracing these down, one comes upon incredible data. That is the trouble. The incredible is too easily rejected. One way to hide things is to make them incredible. Clerk A and Messenger B have been arguing. They blaze into direct conflict. Each blames the other. Neither one is correct, and so the quarrel does not resolve since its true cause is not established. One looks into such a case thoroughly. He finds the incredible. The wife of Clerk A has been sleeping with Messenger B and complaining alike to both about the other. Farmer J and Rancher K have been tearing each other to pieces for years in continual conflict. There are obvious, logical reasons for the fight. Yet it continues and does not resolve. A close search finds banker L, who, due to their losses in the fighting, is able to loan each side money while keeping the quarrel going, and who will get their lands completely if both lose. It goes larger. The revolutionary forces and the Russian government were in conflict in 1917. The reasons are so many, the attention easily sticks on them. But only when Germany's official state papers were captured in World War II was it revealed that Germany had promoted the revolt and financed Lenin to spark it off, even sending him into Russia in a blacked-out train. One looks over personal quarrels, group conflicts, national battles, and one finds, if he searches, the third party, unsuspected by both combatants, or, if suspected at all, brushed off as fantastic. Yet careful documentation finally affirms it. This datum is fabulously useful. In marital quarrels, the correct approach of anyone counseling is to get both parties to carefully search out the third party. They may come to many reasons at first. These reasons are not beings. One is looking for a third party, an actual being. When both find the third party and establish proof, that will be the end of the quarrel. Sometimes two parties, quarreling, suddenly decide to elect a being to blame. This stops the quarrel. Sometimes it is not the right being, and more quarrels thereafter occur. Two nations at each other's throats should each seek conference with the other to sift out and locate the actual third party. They will always find one if they look, and they can find the right one, as it will be found to exist in fact. There are probably many technical approaches one could develop and outline in this matter. There are many odd phenomena connected with it. An accurately spotted third party is usually not fought at all by either party, but only shunned. Marital conflicts are common. Marriages can be saved by both parties really sorting out who caused the conflicts. There may have been, in the whole history of the marriage, several, but only one at a time. Quarrels between an individual and an organization are nearly always caused by an individual third party or third group. The organization and the individual should get together and isolate the third party by displaying to each other all the data they each have been fed. Rioters and governments alike could be brought back to agreement could one get representatives of both to give each other what they have been told by whom. Such conferences have tended to deal only in recriminations or conditions or abuses. They must deal in beings only in order to succeed. This theory might be thought to assert also that there are no bad conditions that cause conflict. There are. But these are usually remedial by conference unless a third party is promoting conflict. In history, we have a very foul opinion of the past because it is related by recriminations of two opponents and has not spotted the third party. Underlying causes of war should read hidden promoters. There are no conflicts which cannot be resolved unless the true promoters of them remain hidden. This is the natural law the ancients and moderns alike did not know. And not knowing it, being led off into reasons, whole civilizations have died. It is worth knowing. It is worth working with in any situation where one is trying to bring peace.
Scientology Network presents L. Ron Hubbard in his own voice, an exclusive 3-part documentary series. His travels to faraway lands are the stuff of legend. He captivated global audiences with his extraordinary knowledge of the mind. He founded the world's youngest major religion and changed the lives of millions. Now, for the first time, get to know the man behind the adventures, behind the discoveries, behind the movement. In this new, unforgettable series, experience his stories vividly brought to life in his own voice. Don't miss L. Ron Hubbard in his own voice, Sundays at 8.
Well, said that would be. I said that would be impressive, and of course you can see many, many more extraordinary truths there on Scientology.tv, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Scientology, by the way, just so you know, contains a cure for depression. We can now cure anybody with depression in a few hours, and mental health problems really do not have to be difficult. And of course, there are many people out there that want to sell you drugs for depression. That's what they want to do. And so what these people do is they push, they try to attack Scientology. They try to act as a third party against Scientology. Why? Because they want to make money by selling you drugs if you get depressed. So it's really quite insidious. And when you find out who it is that has been giving you an incorrect impression about Scientology for all these years, you'll probably be quite angry. But I wouldn't bother with getting angry with them. I just get effective. And, that's what we try and do. Is if ever we have an argument or a difficulty or a problem, what we do is we always recognize that there is indeed a hidden third party. And you know what I would ask each and every one of you to do? And I know there are members this evening of the royal family watching this broadcast. Please get this information about the third party law to those people that you love and those people that you care about, because going through life sitting in an argument with your father, or sitting in an argument with your mother or grandmother or any loved one is just not worth it. And in my own life, I have seen and witnessed so many relationships destroyed because of hidden third parties. And if you educate everybody around you and send this little video clip to everybody that you know, we can all actually benefit tremendously from the fact that, clearly in the royal family, there is one or more. There could be two, there could be three, but there's one principal third party that has caused this situation to blow up. And so in your own life, take a look. Are there any hidden third parties? If you have a friend that has got a disagreement with a spouse or a disagreement with, two people may well decide that they don't want to live with each other anymore, and that's fine. But there's no reason why they wouldn't get on. And what you find is that where you have a situation where you have two people that basically were originally getting on, they were getting on for years, and then all of a sudden they stopped getting on. Well, what you've got there is a hidden third party. And this is a classic example. Harry and William, best of friends for years and years and years, went through terrible things in life together. It didn't seem to harm them. They grew up, they were doing well, and then all of a sudden, there's a hidden third party. And, don't jump to the obvious conclusion that it's their wife or their, see, Pammy Doyle, you see, has asked a question. So you really don't think that Meghan Markle came into the family for fame and fortune? No, I absolutely don't think that. I know for absolute sure, for certainty, with complete certainty, that there is a hidden third party. There is a hidden third party. And if the world would wake up to the fact that there are such things as hidden third parties, by the way, there'd be no lockdowns right now. There'd be no silly rules about masks. There would be, the third parties are insidious on this planet, and they play a very, very major role in every single thing. And it's not always black and white. It's black and white in the sense that there is always a third party. There is always a third party. If you see a conflict, if you see two people arguing that previously got on, I will guarantee to you, I will bet the house, I will bet the entire of Camelot Castle that you will find a hidden third party. Anyone that you know were getting on and now they're not getting on, I will bet the house or bet the castle on the fact that you will find a hidden third party. And in the case of Meghan and Harry, I guarantee that there is a hidden third party, maybe more than one. Sure, there is one, and probably 2 or 3 little ones as well, working hard in the background. So this is the information. So if you support Meghan and Harry, let them know that there's a hidden third party. And if you support the Queen, let her know that there's a hidden third party. And even if you support Piers Morgan, let him know that there's a hidden third party. You see, there has been a hidden third party. And for those third partiers of you out there, knock it off. It's not a very nice thing to do. Third partying people, it's a dreadful habit. And don't do it anymore, because we're on to you and we're coming for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to educate the entire world on the fact of third parties. And if we do that, if we do educate the entire world about this phenomena of the third party law, just imagine the shift that might occur if everybody was aware of the sources of conflict, how conflict occurs. You see, this would be a very, very interesting thing. So I am grateful to have had the opportunity for such a perfect illustration of the third party law. Meghan and Harry may have done the world a fantastic service, because what they have done is they have beautifully illustrated a conflict. And what do we all know? Put your answers in the comments. What do we all know? This is your test of this evening's broadcast. If there is a conflict, what do we know for sure? What do we know for sure? What should we be looking for if there is a breach in relations? If you have a friend that you've always gotten on well with, here's you and here's your friend, and all of a sudden you're at each other's throats and you're disagreeing. What do we know? We know for sure that there is a hidden, unsuspected third party hard at work, creating. Exactly. There we go. Wayne Abraham goes to the top of the class. There's a third person, number 3. And it is very, very important to understand that. So that is your wisdom from the day. It's not really my wisdom. This was discovered by L. Ron Hubbard. And there's all sorts of other things L. Ron Hubbard discovered. He discovered a cure for dyslexia. A cure. You've often wondered, maybe some of you have wondered, why did Tom Cruise become a Scientologist? Tom Cruise became a Scientologist because Scientology cured his learning disability. He couldn't read properly. He was subliterate. And when he went into Hollywood, he needed to be able to read scripts. And a friend of his, Emilio Estevez, recommended, who was an actor at the time, recommended that he do a small course in Scientology that called Learning How to Learn, which you can find. And you'll find that on the website. I get what you're saying, but is not Meghan Markle possibly the third party? In my opinion, not, because that would be too obvious. And also, we all know that. And it's blatant. And Harry would have the opportunity to look at that. And everybody else would have the opportunity to look at that. So if that's what was going on, that would be, it's already known, you see. So it's the unknown third party that you're looking for. That's not to say that Meghan Markle is perfect. And that's not to say that, the rest of the royal family is perfect. But it's the hidden promoters that you're looking for. Because everything they all know what they all said about each other. It's not what perpetuates an argument. All of that is known. It's the unknown communications that you're looking for. The communications that you don't know about. If it's known, if it's all known, then that is not what causes the argument. We don't get upset about things that we already know about, But it's the subtle promoters. It's when somebody says something to you that's a bit mean, and then somebody else is in your ear going, that person has really got it in for you. You're never going to believe what else they said about you the other day when you weren't listening. And for all you know, that may not be true. Or it could be true, but it is coming from this hidden promoter. So this is very, very important. So yes, cure for dyslexia, cure for depression. Many people out there are not doing as well as they would like to be doing. If that's you, find online something called Dianetics, another book by L. Ron Hubbard. Fantastic, read it, and you will understand why people get depressed. You'll understand why people get a bit down, and very, very important. So somebody here says, could Oprah be the third party? No, Oprah did an interview, and she did quite a good job, actually. No, she is not the third party. She's not the third party, in my opinion. In my opinion, because we know what her role was. She interviewed them. These are known factors. We're looking for an unknown factor. We're looking for an unknown factor. And, you know. But here's the thing. If you care about Meghan, and if you care about Harry, and if you care about the Queen, get this information to them. Get this information to them, because I can guarantee to you that they do not have a full and complete conceptual grasp of the third party law. It is a precise, it's a precision instrument. And I can tell you in my own family, when we have spotted third parties, any disputes or arguments resolve immediately. And it's very, very rapid indeed, and it's not a difficult thing to spot. There we go. That's our little lesson for this evening. So take a full look at, I'll just show you this Scientology TV website. It's an amazing website. You can actually find it online yourself. There's all sorts of documentaries. That's a picture of L. Ron Hubbard when he was a little boy. And there you go. There's all sorts of concerts on here. There's a library here of various different things. You can see all the various different churches of Scientology, meet a whole load of Scientologists, people who use it in their daily lives. You can see all sorts of things there on there. You can actually see the ship. That's rather interesting. That's the Scientology ship. You can take a look at that. Really beautifully made films. And you can really take a look at everything that's going on in the world of Scientology. But I just thought that the third party law there is so important. And I wanted to share that with you because there's a lot of people talking about Meghan Markle. And I can guarantee to you the truth, and it'll eventually come out. If they don't have the third party law, it'll come out in about 50 years after they've all died. But if they were to get hold of the third party law, all of this could be resolved in a matter of hours, minutes probably, hours, because they would understand it and they would spot who the third party actually is. And what happens is when you spot who the third party is, that person just gets basically shunned. And, you know, you just can't be bothered with them really because they're very boring third parties actually. Very, very boring and very destructive. Very destructive to families and to cultures and to societies. As you saw from the film, they create wars and this and that. Anyway, looking forward to opening at Camelot Castle. We're opening for business on March the 12th. I believe, and it's going to be very exciting here. Is it March the 12th or April the 12th? April the 12th. It's not. I think it's April the 12th. Anyway, whenever we're opening, I'm sure we'll announce it all. Whenever the rules say that we're allowed to open, we are opening. Till then, study your third-party law. Take a good look at it. You can find it, as I say, at Scientology.tv. And take a good study of it, because it's really worth knowing if you want to bring peace or resolve conflicts. And there are one or two conflicts out there right now. One or two conflicts out, so let's get them all resolved. Goodbye for now. And I'll see you here for a nice bit of crumpet. you.